Music, music, music. And here's the change. Good, Kyla.
I just came from a funeral. At the gravesite, we each dropped a rose into the casket. These men with huge muscles and gleaming skin lowered the casket into its new hole in the ground. The pastor, who didn't even know him, said,
"There are these stars whose light reaches the earth only after they themselves have disintegrated, and they are no more. And there are people whose scintillating memories light the world after they have passed from these. There are these people who are scintillating memories that light the world. Whose scintillating memories lights the world after they have passed from it. These lives, these stars, which shine in the darkest night, are those who with the luminous path."
I guess he was saying that when people die, they join the celestial sphere, becoming stars that give us light when we need it, watching the ones they left behind here on earth. As we got back into our cars, I liked hearing the dirt hit the coffin while the gleaming men shoveled, like they were blanketing him with the earth. But an old woman near me said,
"Oh, that thud,"
when she heard it, and turned away. He woke me up one night. No, pretend I didn't say. He woke me up one night, sitting at the foot of my bed, crying, I think. I asked him what was going on. He said he had a dream and just needed to be with me for a minute. In the dream, he was lifted from his bed. 4 angels, one holding him by each limb, bringing him up higher and higher above the house and above the city. He knew they were taking them to heaven. He was getting so close.
As we preside over time, the sun rises up and bows low. The moon stretches out and curls in. Our bodies wax and wane. Everything is on the move.
It's funny how people give this guiding power to the stars. I'm a Cancer, so I'm supposed to be hard on the outside and soft on the inside, or something like that. I've never really felt connected to that. I mean, you tell me, am I hard on the outside? No, didn't think so. I heard that Pisces are the nurturer, the fish, the sweetheart. Jesus was a Pisces, and so was he, the one who died. I guess that's true of both of them. But still, if people become stars when they die, and stars are supposed to steer our lives, isn't that just saying that the dead are guiding us?
Particles flip and twirl. Light floods in and fades away. An offering.
Sparks of holy time, soul,
and
space.
They shall use her
To count the days and the years.
One time, We went to this museum of modern art together.
And the guy who worked there told us we could skip the line to go into the infinity room. A room full of mirrors and different light bulbs hanging down, like those guiding stars. You literally go on in every direction you look. He told us that he shed a tear when he thought about his job.
It's not so bad.
He said,
He lets people into the infinity for 45 seconds at a time, telling them not to step off the mat because the water surrounds their feet.
And they experience the cosmos with themselves right in the middle of it.
Don't step in the water.
he says, we watch him opening and closing the gateway into the timeless.
How good it is to stop and look out upon eternity a while.
He woke me up one night sitting at the foot of my bed, crying, I think. I asked him what was going on, and he said he had a dream and just needed to be with me for a minute. In the dream, he was lifted from his bed, 4 angels holding him by each limb, bringing him up higher and higher above the house and above the city. He knew they were taking him to heaven. He was getting so close. He was scared. He didn't want to go. He wasn't ready.
How good to stop. Look out upon eternity of life.
Jess, they're gonna walk around you once before you start talking.
Okay.
So you can be in the middle. Oh yeah, Jerome's guiding her to the middle, I forgot.
Oh, that's right.
The only other funeral I've been to is my grandma's. That was different though. I don't know why. I mean, she was really into cycles during her life and said, old age is just another stage of the cycle. And fading away like the mother moon. She was always saying crazy stuff like that. So her funeral was sad, but not like this one. It wasn't like she wasn't ready. My grandma used to tell us this story from the Talmud about the moon and the sun. She says the moon represents the divine feminine, changing, cycling, watching. She said the sun is supposed to be God's masculine presence, blazing through the day. The story goes that the moon and sun used to be the same size, so the moon asked God,
Can two kings share a single crown?
God told her in response.
Go and make yourself smaller.
She asked God.
And what then when I'm smaller?
God answered.
Roll over the day and the night.
He was trying to give her more time in the sky, I guess, to make up for her loss of size. But she realized she would be no use during the day, asking,
What good is a lamp in broad daylight?
So God replied that she would rule the night, while the sun would rule the day. To give her special importance, God said that people would use her to count the days and the years.
Okay, now go hold Marlena's hand while she walks.
Oh, okay. Which is why all the way across.
Yep.
Okay. Which is why the Jewish calendar follows the course of the moon.
Now same for Francesca.
And probably why People read so much into the night sky. But it's funny. So during that part that happens?
Yep.
Okay. But it is funny, isn't it? How we tell stories of human dynamics happening on such a broad scale, making our own stories so important, so cosmic, and how the moon allows herself to disappear, like we all do eventually, leaving nothing but the stars behind to remind others of us.
The sun sets and rises again, forces and glory to be beheld, while the wise moon, upheld and glowing, takes it all in.
But makes no show herself. In fact, she,
Is half herself tonight.
Choosing, cycling, hiding.
They shall use her to count the days and the years.
My grandma told us to follow the moon's path. She said, when the moon fades each month, it's time to think about death and darkness in the world. And when it's full, it's time to think about rebirth and new beginnings.
Our mother moon grows fat and skinny, advances and withers. 3 steps forward, and 4 steps back. It's 4 steps forward, 3 steps back. And nothing remains the same, for the mountains are plowed up and worn down, for the rivers even
This is your
sink
pods.
stone, and yet ancient stones in the field blow away, and their seas and seas split and make sand and make islands. They make islands.
But my grandma asked, I guess I looked at the moon a lot. It was hard to think about new beginnings stuff. Just like it is now. Death just feels so final. When the moon comes around again, how can I think about moving on? About rebirth? He isn't going to be reborn. Maybe as a snail or something.
that's cool.
I'll keep my eyes on the ground so I don't miss him.
Learn to turn into our circle, to sink into the caves of our silence, to drink lingering by those deep cold wells, to dive into the darkness of the heart's storm.
The blessing over the moon is,
You are a crown of glory for those who are born in the womb. For they, like you, are destined to be renewed.
she used to say it to the waxing moon. Destined to be renewed? Once we were in the city together, and he looked around and said, I hate being in the city now. I asked him why, and he said, because everyone is dead. Everyone. On that same car ride, or maybe it was a different one, it became really clear to me that he didn't think he was going to live. I forget what he said exactly, but something like he wouldn't care if he died. I was really mad, obviously. I didn't know what to say to that.
4 angels holding him by each limb.
Bringing him up, higher and higher from his bed.
He was getting so close to heaven.
Scared.
He wasn't ready.
There's another story my grandma used to say. Tell us why women were especially blessed by the moon and guided by her cycles. When the Israelites were in the wilderness and making a place for God's presence to dwell, the women gave more than the men. The Torah says,
The men gathered upon the women.
which grandma used to say meant that the women had already gathered their best things to offer for God's resting place. And the men were putting their late offerings on top of the women's stuff. Which is funny because the men gathered upon the women sounds like some sort of weird ancient dog pile. Like the men just fell over on top of the women and the women were just toppled over or something.
And the Holy One of Blessing rewarded them in this world that they would observe the new moons more than men. And in the next world, they are destined to be renewed, like the moon.
know that life was a cycle? Too many ghosts. The stars were calling him too strongly. He is more like the sun, blazing one moment in a fiery display and then nothing. Only that burning feeling on your eyes that you've been looking at something too bright and it's left you with an imprint. But when you open your eyes, it's gone. A rim of fire inside your eyelids and maybe tears too.
The sun sets and rises again, forcing its glory to be beheld.
While the wide moon, pale and glowing, takes it all in.
But makes no show herself. In fact, she,
Choosing,
cycling,
hiding.
Concerned not only with the muscular pageantry of golden rays,
But with tides and blood of women everywhere.
The worship of the indigenous.
the
Stories of the stars.
coexisting with him, half a light.
You are a crown of your glory for those who are born in the moon, for they like you are destined to be removed.
Deb, again, she's going to do the dance once before you talk.
I don't.
4 angels holding him by each limb, bringing him up higher and higher from his bed. He was getting so close to heaven.
Each of Jacob's 12 sons had a twin sister.
After sister, then you.
each of these women, they reign over the 12 months.
Watching, weeping, waiting. Choosing, cycling, hiding.
One weeps for those.
One for holy places destroyed.
One for fullness taken away.
For sons lost.
And daughters. Dull left behind, red-eyed.
They weep and watch.
And wait.
Choosing, cycling, hiding.
Half a life.
It's like
While the mother moon and the father sun
Watch their morning dance.
and hear their morning cry.
One weeps for the faults that lead to the tragedies in the world.
For the pride of idleness makes carelessness.
One for the loss of faith in signs.
No more.
Magic.
No more magic.
No more dancing. They watch and they weep.
And the mother moon and father sun watch and wait and cycle and believe and bury in me.
One time he had to sleep at my house. We were done hanging out and it was just like he had nowhere else to go. He slept on my couch and we watched superhero movies together. He asked if he could smoke my weed. I said no. He put me on Snapchat.
So close to heaven.
So close to heaven.
I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready.
That was the same night I woke up with him crying at the foot of my bed.
Jess, can we have you try the boy dance here?
Yeah. The whole thing, or like just kind of mirroring what someone else is.
I'd say the whole thing.
Okay. While I'm talking or no?
Mhm.
Okay. That was the same night I woke up with him crying at the foot of my bed. That dream dream so close to heaven. He was just about to see the gates and his grandparents and the angels.
Everything
was
is on the move. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
There's this other memory I have. One time we were at the park, lying on a blanket, watching the sunset and talking. It sounds really romantic when I put it like that, but it wasn't. Just chill. Just a summer night we were bored. And he was facing me, and the way it looked from my perspective, it looked like the moon was becoming visible right above his ear. Like it had come up real slowly from the inside of his eardrum to ascend into the sky. Like the moon was an earbud playing music to him, or like the moon was being born.
Mm-hmm.
Or like it was an idea floating out of his brain. I don't remember what he was talking about. All I could see was this weird story taking place. Right above his head, like the moon was attached to him and was communicating way more than he was with his mouth.
Casey, can you go in the center at this point?
Or what?
In the center at this point. And when they make a circle, they're gonna make it around you.
Like
So
a
scoot back a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a bigger, more important story was happening that he couldn't see. Because if he had turned his head to look, the illusion would have disappeared.
Cancel King share a single crown.
Go and make yourself smaller.
And what then?
Rule over the day and night.
What good is a lamp in broad daylight? They shall use you to count the days and the years. When the sun completes his cycle every 28 days,
Do it around you.
we recite the blessing for his glory, thanking the Maker for the sun. For that is where the sun returns to the place where he watched creation.
In a whole short circle. To make room for his light to fill the world.
In the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember this.
There were peacocks around that park that walk around and get in people's ways. Cars have to wait for them to slow down, or for them to cross when they're in the vicinity. We always really loved seeing them. I saw some when we went for the funeral and thought how much they liked him. Utterly unconcerned for everyone else's plans, inconvenient with their presence and absence, in everyone's way, but weirdly beautiful too.
I think you're up. Yeah. Forcing themselves to be beheld. Well,
I mean, it's cute.
Shining and celestial, like the sun itself.
Jeff, Sarah's going to step in for this so you can see the choreography. So you guys kneeling circle. And she's going to do the boy dance inside. It's what we just...
Don't they do the peel off the back? Circle around?
Yeah, I forgot. Thanks.
One thing that I know. Off the top of my head.
Yeah, and right here, everybody remember when you stop, you go like all different ways and you're like, hey.
So your movement cue is like the sun itself.
True.
Okay? So I'll give you the last one. Shining and celestial, like the sun itself. You change. And then I wait, right? Full circle.
1, 2, 3.
You're trying to be in the same place as before?
Well, because Drew and I have to be on opposite sides.
Good point.
MBD, L2.
Okay.
Franny, make a good circle.
The peacock's always going to be a different word.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
We'll just get something as long as it's circles.
Okay. Now it's if I touch touch you, you move.
No. It's the boy dance, and then they do this and turn away from you. Remember?
That's right.
Before you
that's
start
right.
yelling. But you don't know the dance. So she's dancing.
If
5.
all these cosmic
No, not yet. 4. No lights. 3, 2, 1.
Just like that.
Stop and turn.
Can I countdown?
We need again. Facing her. Actually, let's take it from the peacock line. Peacock line.
Yeah.
Celestial.
As in,
Exactly. Thank you. It was up here. Okay. Hands out. And Sarah's going to give you your cue.
Shining and celestial, like the sun itself.
Good man. Circle, find your spot. Yeah, Dale, I would say stop. Yeah, like stop when you find your spot, and the other ones can keep circling around you. I think that's gonna be
yeah, I
better.
think that's the best.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Boy dance.
Boy dance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn away. And go.
If all these cosmic powers really cared about me, wouldn't they have just stopped him from dying? And where is my grandma? And can I see You said grandma.
So random. Now I feel like a great player for Jellerian.
I think we can all agree that we're glad that Jesse is in this role. And can I see them again? As more than stars. The stars aren't personal, they don't have faces. They don't have names. They can't talk to me. Where are the people I love? I'm looking into the sky, but I'm not seeing anything to guide me. No deities, no guardians, no watchers, just lights. Maybe I'm staring at the stars, and the stars are staring back at me. Maybe the stars have the same exact questions I do, and are out there groping for meaning.
Switch.
Maybe it's a weird, that meaning for you. Sorry guys, I didn't touch that for you. Maybe the stars have the exact same questions I do, and are out there groping for meaning.
Change.
Maybe it's a weird two-way mirror and we're just shining blindly at each other. And you, impersonal moon, what do you see when you look down on me, Mother God? Nothing. Just a speck. You wax and wane and I do too. Right now, I'm
Heather.
half myself.
Let's have them down too. Don't you think? Girls, you're gonna be down too. So we're changing this. You're gonna move on meaning, and you're gonna lay out like exactly like Fran and Chloe, but opposite. You get what I'm saying?
So then they can move on the
No,
same
head in.
Your head's gonna be
Same
by her
cue.
butt.
Everybody's now moving on the same cue. No cathedral. Jesse, you're gonna go down on shining blindly at each other, like fall down, and you in personal moon. What do you see when you look back on me? You're leaning back on, like look back on me. Okay. Sarah, carry on. Nothing, just respect.
Okay,
Keep going.
nothing, just a speck. You wax and wane, and I do too. Right now, I'm half myself. I don't know if I'll ever be full again, Mother Moon, round-bellied and smiling, watching for the beginning of a new month. Like, I'm ready to think about rebirth now. No, I don't think it's that easy. This is where I touch you and you move, right? After that. And you,
This is and you is the propel.
so-called guardian angels.
Yeah. Wow.
You take him so high you can see the gates of heaven. It's all a dream. The great sign you gave him. You didn't gently take him in and fold him into the dead. He wasn't ready, so you let him fall.
Freeze.
Freeze. They let him fall.
Look
Right.
at her.
Yep.
You are good.
Right before the final glimpse, they dropped him back down. Back to earth, back to his life, back to me. That vision affected him, made him reconsider all types of things. Getting dropped from that height has an impact on the body. I don't know if he woke up before he hit the ground or after, but they let him fall.
The angels spared him.
They let him fall. They let him fall. He was so close to heaven, but they let him fall.
Getting dropped from that height has an impact on the body. The wise moon, upheld and glowing, takes it in. Watching, weeping, waiting. Go and make yourself smaller. Choosing, cycling, hiding.
She grows fat and skinny and withers. One steps
scared, he wasn't ready. He lets people into infinity 45 seconds at a time, telling them not to step off the mat because the water surrounds their feet. The strength that wells up out of retreat. How good to stop and look out upon eternity a while. One weeps for those lost, for daughters left behind. And you, guardian angels, to sink into the caves of our silence, to drink lingering by the deep cold wells, to dive into the darkness of the heart storm, choosing, cycling, hiding, watching, weeping, waiting.
Everything is on the move.
They were supposed to let him fall.
Finale. We're gonna run 10 again from the top. So we'll start from the line with your hands out like this. And Jessie, do you feel like?
I can jump.
Yeah. Okay. She knows the dance better than you, so.
Quick note on the improvised movements and stuff. Let's have it like a rule in our head. Like everybody does the first. Well, whoever initiates the first one, everybody does that one. Whoever initiates the second one, everyone does that one. And then after that, try to make it like half and half, or just
Very
one
cool.
person, and try to vary it up a little bit. Don't feel like everyone has to do that. But the first two make it all together, and then after that, kind of split.
We think so far.
What is our point of focus on the improv? Front?
Also, again, try to keep back a little bit more. Even though that's like the space for the boy dance, you can still even keep it back.
So we're starting from Jessie at the front, everybody behind her with their hands out, transitioning into the kneeling circle. So Jessie, you'll take it from Shining and Celestial.
Shining and celestial.
Wait, girls, in line.
And the peacock. Peacock.
Are we down here?
Yep, love it.
Chill.
Yeah.
Shining and celestial, like the sun itself.
Once you find your spot exactly.
You're gonna drop with them like on
I
that.
forgot to tell her that.
And not finish it?
Not finish it.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
just like the first. Yeah, basically first half you like catch it and then maybe you drop, like Dale was saying, maybe you drop it.
Nice attentiveness, stars. You hit that cues perfectly.
Okay.
And then Jess, as soon as they turn away from you, you can start your lines.
And do you want me to read it?
Yeah, for a second. Until you feel it. Just feel it.
Feel it.
Yeah.
If all these cosmic powers really cared about me, wouldn't they have just stopped him from dying? And where is my grandma? And can I see them again? As more than stars? The stars aren't personal. They don't have faces. They don't have names. They can't talk to me. No deities, no guardians, no watchers, just lights. Maybe I'm staring at the stars and the stars are staring back at me. Maybe the stars have the exact same questions I do and are up there groping for meaning. Maybe it's a weird two-way mirror and we're just shining blindly at each other. And you, impersonal moon, what do you see when you look down on me, Mother God? Nothing. Just despair. You wax and wane, and I do too. Right now, I'm half myself. I don't know if I'll ever be full again, Mother Moon, round-bellied and smiling, watching for the beginning of a new month. Like, I'm ready to think about rebirth now. No, I don't think it's that easy. And you, so-called guardian angels, you who took him so high, he couldn't see the gates of heaven. In his dream, that great sign you gave him, like you didn't gently take him in or enfold him into the den. He wasn't ready, so you let him fall.
They should. It just.
You let him fall! They let him fall. Right before the final glimpse, they dropped him back down. Back to the earth, back to his life, back to me. That vision affected him. Made him reconsider all types of things. Getting dropped from that height has an impact on the body. I don't know if he woke up before or after he hit the ground, but they let him fall.
The angels spared him.
They let him fall. They let him fall. He was so close to heaven, but they let him fall.
Getting dropped from that height.
Has an impact on the body.
Everything is on the move. The wise move up hill and flow and takes it in.
Watching, weeping, waiting.
Go and make yourself smaller. Guys, don't worry about the lines, but let's make sure we bust into the flurry of movement as soon as Fran says getting dropped from that height has an impact on the body. Because Jesse's going to say he was so close to heaven, but they let him fall, and basically remove herself, and then we need to break into a flurry of movement. So let's decide what the first thing is. What should the first thing be?
Or just who's
Or we
the first
should
person?
just remember that that's our key.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Because
fine.
I think improvising it gives it a better energy.
Yeah.
So just, that's the
But
key.
just okay. So what are you getting dropped from
That I have.
impact? Okay. I'll remember that.
So let's take it from, can we do the walking around, Jesse tilting the heads, walking around, and then Jess, you'll say, they let him fall right before the final glimpse. Wait, no. He wasn't ready. You see where I'm at, Jess? And then take a little moment between he wasn't ready, so you let him fall. A little moment between them so they can circle you and it's not so rapid. Okay, circling.
He wasn't ready.
You guys can even, I think, slow down on this walking.
So you let him fall. They let him fall. Right before the final glimpse, they dropped him back down, back to earth, back to his life, back to me. That vision affected him, made him reconsider all types of things. Getting dropped from that height has an impact on the body. I don't know if he woke up before he hit the ground or after, but they let him fall.
The angels spared him.
They let him fall. They let him fall. He was so close to heaven, but they let him fall.
Getting dropped from that height has an impact on the body.
The wise moon, upheld and glowing, takes it in, watching, weeping, waiting. Go and make yourself smaller, choosing, cycling, hiding. She grows fat and skinny, advances and withers, 4 steps forward and 3 back, and nothing remains the same. Scared, he wasn't ready. He lets people into infinity for 45 seconds at a time, telling them not to step off the mat because the water surrounds their feet. The strength that wells up out of retreat. How good to stop and look upon eternity a while. One weeps for those lost, for daughters left behind. And you, guardian angels, to sink into the caves of our silence, to drink lingering by those deep, cold wells, to dive into the darkness of the heart storm, choosing, cycling, hiding, watching, weeping, waiting. Everything is on the move.
They were supposed to let him fall.
Good. Okay.
Who's over there listening?
That was great.
You guys can find a seat. We'll do some quick notes. It's 6:36. We'll do notes and action steps for the week, and then we will be gone.
Be gone.